Yeah, I almost sort of quit after that. Like, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I can't continue doing this. Definitely shaped me as a person and sort of got me to where I am. I'd say I'm a bit of a bulldozer when I'm riding downhills. Yeah, give me some more sprints and pedaling and I'll be up there. Like,
all right, we're in Morzine at Atlas Ryco, the place to come if you want a good ride and holiday, and I'm joined by Luke Meier-Smith. Luke, welcome to the Downtime podcast.
thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure, dude, and first time on the show, so we should wind back and cover some background. And I think you're the first guest I've ever had on who grew up on an avocado farm.
Yeah, that's it. Bit of a different backstory than most. Yeah, grew up in a small rural town with my parents. Yeah, growing avocados and. Yeah, did a lot of sort of the usual sports when I was younger, and then sort of fell into mountain biking when I was a teenager. So
yeah, you were pretty late to it, eh? Like you started off with more, not off-piste, but off-piste for mountain bikers. You were doing like more run-of-the-mill sports, I guess, early days.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was sort of played some soccer, tennis, did some karate even up until I was about 11. And then, yeah, started BMX racing actually at the local... Well, as local as it gets, about 50 minutes, hour drive from us. Being rural, everything's pretty far. But yeah, my parents would drive us down to the local BMX track a couple times a week, and we'd do the sort of club races there. Sort of did that for like 4 years till I was like 14, 15, and then got into the mountain bike scene, started doing more of that, and then sort of stopped racing BMX and started competing in mountain bikes.
You've got a sporty family, right? Your dad was a pretty high level cyclist. Your mum was like a high level dancer, is that right?
Yeah. So my dad he raced road and track. I think it was 1984 to 88 when he was a junior. So never really went elite, but won some state championships, national championships. I think in teams, timed trials, and I think he told me he won the Oceania point score as well. So, yeah, he was pretty good. I think he possibly could have gone to the Olympics, but ended up falling in love with surfing. So, fair. Which I also do in my pastime.
Yeah.
And yeah, so.
And you got a brother?
Yeah.
Remy?
Yeah, I got Remy.
Older or younger?
Younger, 2 years younger.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's been cool sort of growing up racing with him. And yeah, it's always, he was on the same team as me for a few years on Propane and Giant, and now he's on Pivot. So it's pretty cool to have a younger brother, and both bounce off each other pretty well. We're quite different in a sense as well. So I learn from him, he learns from me, type of thing. Yeah.
What's the dynamic like between you? Like, often brothers are very competitive, or families are competitive, full stop. But like, how do you get on? Are you good friends? Is there a rivalry there? Yeah,
we get on pretty well. I mean, we've had like everyone, a bit of headbutting sometimes. Mostly just with how different we are. He's quite laid back, but I try and sort of take that on where I can, where I'm probably a bit more serious, I guess, but sometimes too much. So, try and sort of learn from him a bit in times. And so but he makes it work.
So you even each other out a bit, maybe?
Pretty much, yeah. So like take a bit on what he sort of, brings to the table, and he's bloody talented, so fair good rider as well. So
yeah, for sure, it's good to have that much talent in the family. So yeah, you raced in BMX as a young guy, like getting into that. Were you competitive? Did you race because you wanted to win, or were you just racing because you enjoyed it and it was friends and people to ride with? Like what was going on?
Yeah, I've always been pretty competitive, and with BMX racing itself, you sort of, I guess you just start racing locally at the club, and then we did quite a lot of sort of state rounds, New South Wales and some Queensland stuff, bit of stuff in Canberra as well, a few national championships as well, but sort of starting as late as we did. I was 11, there was coming into the sport, like so many kids sort of started when they were like 4 or 5 years old, and it definitely took like a couple years before I was sort of competitive, but never really did anything crazy. I made like a ACT state final.
Okay.
I'd make like most of the sort of New South Wales round state just finals. Never actually made a New South Wales state final, which was pretty disappointing. There was a couple years there where I probably should have made it in, but got like pushed off the track. You know how BMX is.
Yeah,
so,
bar to bar.
yeah, and then my brother, he was actually a bit better. Probably took him a little bit longer to get going, but he made like a national final. I think he came 7th, which was cool. And then he got like you get like the N plate or the national plate 3N. He came in the New South Wales state final, and but yeah, it's definitely quite a sport where lots of kids get into it quite young, and are quite competitive at a young age, and that was sort of why we fell out of it a bit too. Like a lot of parents sort of butting heads, like that, at 10, 11 years old, kids just racing their bikes, and ended up getting almost too serious, and
that's
wasn't
fair.
that enjoyable.
Yeah, I hear that a lot about BMX. So how did you find mountain biking then? Was it something you were doing alongside BMX as well, or? Yeah,
not really. So my dad did a little bit of like mountain biking when we were younger, but more sort of the XC side. I think my first bike it was like a giant hardtail, and we went to like local sort of Jolly Nose park, did like 1 or 2 XC races. But as far as the gravity side of things, didn't really fall into that till I was like 14, 15. And I rode bikes when I was young. Like I learned how to ride a bike when I was like with no training when I was like 2 or 3 years old. Okay. And then I was riding motorbikes when I was like 5, and sort of did that as well, like 5 to 10, but not like racing. Just we used to just go on some trips with like family, and for Easter and stuff.
Nice.
We'd go motorbike riding and stuff, but never really did that much cycling until BMX started, and then mountain biking.
Yeah. And did you seek out downhill racing, or did you just want to go and race a mountain bike? Like, where did you start with the mountain bike race side of things? Yeah,
pretty much. I did a bit of, even up until now, I've done quite a lot of enduro and downhill, but downhill was sort of always the focus when I started taking it more serious. And then I'd do, some enduros on the side. Type of thing.
Yeah, I heard you say, I think it was in the Beyond the Tape interview, that you were a bit scared of downhill initially. Like,
back in the day. I remember, I think it was one of my first, I think it was Queensland state champs for downhill. We ended up going, and when I was 15, 16, sort of under 17. And I was my dad built me up it was like a Focus enduro bike, but it had like too much travel on the rear and a downhill fork. And I was sort of like an all right rider then, but my brother, he raced, and he was on I think it was a Trek XC, full suspension, but like short travel.
Yeah.
And I remember in the race run, passing him with him running down one of the steep bits because he couldn't ride it on the XC bike. That was a funny story. But we had a few sort of shed builds and when we started, but
okay, but you settled into it, you got used to that adrenaline rush. And
I think more so my brother was a little bit scared almost. I do remember the local, well, not local, but I go to sort of Newcastle quite a lot. It's about 2 and a bit hour one-way drive to ride downhill. We had the Australian national champs there 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
That track used to scare me quite a lot when we first started. We'd go there, and all the A-lines were pretty gnarly, and would definitely be a bit scared. But I guess there's always a bit of fear and everything.
Like a healthy fear.
Even at my level now, certain features and stuff. So but
and some injury early doors, right? I think 2017 you did a femur, which is about as big as you can go.
Yeah, I definitely had some gnarly setbacks when I was younger. Sort of, I think I was 17 around. Just when I was really starting to take it a bit more serious and trying to, break into the sort of scene. Had those injuries. I did. It was all in 1 year. First I broke my arm, Then I fractured my wrist and dislocated my, I think, radius. And then, did the femur.
How did you do that?
It was actually on the farm trail.
Okay.
Of all things, pretty easy track that I built. Just sort of this double drop and then this little double, all of like maybe like 2-3 meter double, and I decided to put rocks on the landing because I wanted to make it like rougher, and like just sort of compressed off the double drop, landed like pretty in the face of this little double, and sort of nosedived just a little bit and like tapped the front wheel on the rocks that I put there. If the rocks weren't there, I probably would have been all right. And I remember like building it, and like my brother, he's not much of a trail builder, but sort of like trying to get him to help me, and he wouldn't. He's like, oh, it's a waste of time. Like, why are you putting that there? I'm like, oh, I'm just trying to make it harder. And anyway, tapped the front wheel, did a front flip, and landed on the next up ramp with my leg like over the top.
Oh.
So there's sort of that age where your bones are softer too. And then, so snapped it and then rolled like 360 to the right and spiral fractured it as well.
Oh.
So that was pretty brutal, to be honest, like pretty dark time for me. I almost sort of quit after that. Like
Really?
It was, I was pretty on the fence with like I'm like, what am I doing? Like I can't continue doing this, like just damaging myself, like especially because it was all in one year, those 3 big injuries.
It's a big recovery as well, femur, right? Like, it takes a good while, especially with the amount you've done to it.
Yeah, for sure. I ended up, getting a rod in it. And I was on the bike in like 3 months, but then, ended up, I think it was my first year as a junior, ended up like racing with the rod, or even maybe first year junior, second year junior. And it was all right, but there was a pin in my knee, or just above my knee, that was overhanging a little bit and sort of irritating the inside of my quad. And like with gym stuff and stuff, sort of extending the leg straight, was having some issues with that. So ended up, getting it out about a year and a bit down the track, or 2 even. That was gnarly in itself, getting it out, like saying before the surgery, there's a few % chance you might die and all this. Like it's pretty scary, the femur. Like you can lose a lot of blood and end up passing away type of thing. So,
Well, there's a femoral artery right by it that you can easily rupture, and you've got seconds to stop it. Yeah,
literally. So but battled through that. I think it made me stronger as a person, and almost in the end motivated me more to try and sort of make it, I guess. Even though it was a very, very tough time, I think it definitely shaped me as a person and sort of got me to where I am, I guess.
Yeah, and you were having like good success at home at that point, and I think the following year was the first time you raced abroad. Yeah. And your parents kind of got behind you and took you guys over to Crankworks and had to go international racing. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, we sort of jumped into some Crankworks stuff when I was sort of under 17 before junior. Did a bit of that. Got a few podiums. I think did Rotorua first. I don't think I podiumed. I got a 4th in the air downhill and maybe a 7th or 8th in the downhill, and then we went to Whistler and I won the Garbanzo downhill, and then got I think 3rd in the air downhill and maybe a 4th in the OG Canadian Open downhill. So that's sort of how it all started with the international racing. And
do you think that was a good thing to do ahead of your first junior World Cup season, to get that experience overseas? I
think so. I mean, what really matters is sort of your junior performances, but it definitely, I guess, was a head start as far as getting out there and experiencing the sort of trails in overseas and Europe and stuff, as well as Canada and New Zealand. So, I think it was good. It's definitely tough at home, like, with riding. Like, we don't have a whole lot, like, locally where I am, it's mostly sort of trail riding stuff. So I always, travel pretty much to Newcastle most weekends, which it's a bit of a mission, like, over 2 hours one way. So it's like 4.5 round trip, but sort of try and I've done a few day trips there, but it's quite the mission. So try and do like 2 days or so if I can, and then sort of come back home, sort of do Monday to Friday, more like on the bike, or off the downhill bike, training, gym and stuff.
Yeah.
Road riding and all that. And then, do my weekends sort of there.
Who do you ride with? Obviously, you've got your brother. Is Ryan Gilchrist based near you as well?
Yeah, he's in Coffs. So, up the sort of other direction from Newcastle, but try and ride with him a bit. He's been away quite a bit recently, though, with his girlfriend.
Okay.
Up near sort of... Melbourne way. But we spend the last sort of 2 off seasons, we've been going to Medina, which my parents bought a house there. I'm now paying off the house too, so
Okay.
buying it off them, which is a cool thing that I've sort of started. Cool to. I wouldn't say I'm a house owner yet, but starting to pay it off. So we spend, usually head there like December, January, and try and get a good sort of, even into February, a good block of a few months of training. And that's definitely been a big help for my riding. Like the house is literally, you jump the fence and you're in the bike park. So
sweet.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Like just have everything there. There's even a little gym now in Medina. So got it all sort of there. Only downfall is sort of the supermarkets, like a big supermarket. It's like 45-minute one way to sort of get your food, but try and do like a big shop and survive a week or two.
You got to stock up. Yeah.
So that's good.
Cool, man. So looking back then on your junior career, like how do you sum it up? I think it was 2019 your first season, and then I guess 2020 was all a bit up and down with COVID and stuff. So 2019, I think my parents got me to 4 or 5 World Cups. The first one I did was in Fort William, and I managed to finish 4th, so that was pretty cool. And then I think just the usual, did Leogang. Don't know if I did Valdesol, but just a few of those, and was consistently top 10. I think I got like 2 9ths and a 7th, and then world champs in Canada. Mont Saint Anne, I got 7th, I think, as well. So was sort of in the mix a bit, and then did snowshoe the last round and finished 2nd. So that was a good, I think without that result, I probably wouldn't have sort of gone on a factory team for the next year. So that sort of sparked Propane's interest. They actually gave me a bike towards the end of the 2019 season just to help me out, and because I was doing all right, they thought they'd sort of jump on board, but it wasn't sort of looking like I was going to go on the factory team, and then got that 2nd place, and they were like, oh, we better sort of get him on the team. So that must have been a cool thing, right? Because up to that point, I think your parents were basically helping you out and getting you around.
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't really even have any proper sponsors back then, like no bike sponsor. I had sort of a little apparel company helping me out, like We The Riders, back then. But I think also V Tyco came on board, like I think in 2019, 2018, around there. But that was just, some tires, but obviously a big help. But it was all sort of my parents investing to try and get me there. And
It's a solid, must have felt good to get a brand suddenly behind you and to step up from, like you say, not much sponsorship to a proper crew. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, it was, definitely a big step, and was, super grateful for the opportunity to, get on a factory team and continue my way up the leaderboard.
And 2021 was your first season in Elite. What was that step up like for you?
It was pretty good. Like I said, always been a super motivated person. So I came into that season like pretty fired up. I think I missed a few qualies, but then made a couple finals, and I think I got 2 top 20s, like a 18th and a 19th. And then world champs came along in Valdesol, and then I ended up having a big crash in my race run and dislocating my shoulder. So that was sort of the end of that season for the most part. You did a bit of EWS as well pretty successfully. So I think 2019 maybe was your first go at that. I jumped in on that as well. I think even in 2021, I think it was still COVID, wasn't it? It was still a bit messed up, wasn't it? So I think I maybe got a podium in finale, as a under 21 in 2021, and then even I think 2020. I don't know if I got any podiums there, but yeah, sort of jumped in on that a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Between the World Cups.
Was it just something to do between the World Cups, or was it like something you were kind of seriously looking at as another option?
Yeah, I think I've always sort of loved doing both. And I mean, downhill's always been the focus, but I've seemed to have been able to jump into a lot of the enduros and do pretty well. So I think with how I train and stuff, I'm probably one of the fitter sort of downhill guys. So that's always sort of been a strength of mine, my sort of fitness and strength. More so, I figured now I just need to sort of ride my downhill bike more.
Okay.
But I think that in the early days, especially for enduro, helped quite a lot.
For sure. Yeah. I think, was it at the end of 21 you took Alan Milway on board? Was that a big change in the way that you trained?
A little bit, yeah. I think it was a bit more sort of structure for me, which I liked, like just sort of having someone almost tell me what to do, and just build more structure around my training. And really enjoyed those few years with him, and he helped a lot with sort of the gym stuff and on the bike, off the bike, intervals and all that. So sort of building into the season and figuring out how that sort of works a bit more. Just sort of prime yourself.
So I mean, you say one of the fitter downhill riders, and I've heard a lot of people say you're the fittest guy in the pits. Like, how? Everyone's working so hard. Like, how have you got to the point where you've been able to elevate beyond quite a lot of the pits? Yeah,
it's a good question. I think I love, like, even Ryan and myself, like we just love the grind, really. Like sometimes too much. Like we should just be riding our bikes more, but I guess I just do a lot of sort of like base training early in the off season, and then build into intervals. I haven't actually done sort of any like a test like VO2 or anything, but I think my numbers wouldn't be too bad. But I seem to just I guess I do maybe more volume than most. I say like with sort of the lower intensity stuff, which helps, I guess. Yeah,
it gives you that underpinning to your fitness, I guess.
Yeah, the sort of base.
Being that driven to train and hanging out with someone like Ryan as well, is there a risk of like overdoing it? Have you ever been there?
I'd say probably before I was a junior, actually, like when I was like under 17, I remember going pretty hard there. I actually, because I didn't really know what I was doing that much in the gym, and I ended up what was it called? I ended up doing the Fit for Racing sort of program. But then on the sort of bike trainer at the time, that was like the Fit for Racing's a lot of sort of high intensity sort of work in the gym, like a lot of circuits and stuff. And then I also was doing a lot of intervals on the bike and like intensity there. And I do remember like getting a bit burnt out from like just doing too much intensity, because my gym now is sort of a bit more strength based. A few little circuits there here and there, but mostly sort of do my intervals and stuff like that on the bike, and then the gym's more sort of strength. But I was sort of doubling up then when I was a bit younger, but otherwise it's been pretty smooth with that type of thing.
How do you make a decision now whether to train or not? Like, do you use data, or are you relying on how your body feels? Like, how are you dealing with that, like, illness and potential to overtrain?
That's it. I use Training Peaks, and then I don't know, Garmin Watch a bit as well, looking at the acute load, resting heart rate, HRV, those type of numbers, just to make sure I don't sort of overdo it. Seems to be working pretty well. Looking at that type of thing, and then also power numbers in general, like making sure they're going forward, not backwards. So,
and I guess trying to stay injury free as well, right? Like just a consistent training like is super beneficial. So if you're not getting constant setbacks of being unable to train through injury, I guess that's also pretty important. Yeah,
for sure. I think the gym side of things has definitely been a big help. Taken some pretty big slams this year, a few that I've sort of gotten up from, and I'm like, how am I not hurt? So I think that's a big help. Trying to stay injury free there, and also just try not to fall off as well. But yeah.
Do you find mobility plays into that, like robustness in crashing as well?
Yeah, I think it can. I'm probably not the most mobile person. I've gotten better over the last few years, but continually trying to work on that to stay injury free and also be able to move around the bike a bit more.
Yeah, not the most glamorous training though, is it? It feels kind of almost too easy sometimes, the mobility stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's I'd say I'm a bit of a bulldozer when I'm riding downhill, so trying to like loosen up a bit more when I ride, for sure.
Yeah, nice. So coming into 22, then you had a good off season. You had Milway on board and like increasing the strength and some of the numbers. You had a pretty good season, eh? Like a huge amount of racing between enduro and downhill as well.
Yeah, it was a big season looking back. In that off season too, I actually worked as a trail builder just to earn a bit more money. So I was pretty flat out that year. I was doing like, sort of 8 to 10 hour days trail building, training before work, like starting at like 7. And then I'd be like going to the gym in some afternoons and was doing
trail building physically or in a digger?
Yeah, physically. I was sort of the shovel pig. So I don't know. I think that, definitely made me quite fit as well, just in general, like a lot of work. Trail building, shoveling all day, moving rocks and whatnot. And then, I was training in the morning and, going to the gym after work so I was super motivated that off season to really, make it happen, sort of take that next step. And I think it paid off, yeah.
Yeah, well, a heap of under 21 wins in EWS and a couple of standout downhill results, right? Fort William 9th, Andorra 6th.
Yeah.
Like cracking that top 10 it's a big thing. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, pretty much career best. I've had a couple injuries the last few years have set me back, but Andorra is still my career best in 6th, so striving to get back to that sort of position. But it was a good year. Like, doing all a lot of the EWS. I did 5 of them, and they only took 5 for the under 21 overall. So that was sort of good that I didn't have to do sort of all of them for the overall. But I think I managed to win all of those, which was cool. And win the under 21 overall title, and then sort of consistently in that 10 to 20 bracket in downhill and finished 20th overall. So it was a good season. Yeah,
incredible season, and it got the attention of some brands, I guess, right? I'm sure you had a few conversations.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so from there, I was talking to quite a few teams that season, and ended up getting on the Giant Factory Off-Road team from there.
What made you choose Giant out of all those offers? Because I'm sure there was more than one.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Like, I think it was they were early to talk to us, I think was sort of one of the things, and probably the most interested. Like, I had a few other teams talking to me, but they were taking a bit of time to sort of put a deal forward, and Giant was super keen, and they were probably the only team that could sort of take myself and my brother too, because he was doing quite well at the time too. I think that year he got 3rd at World Champs, or 2nd or 3rd, and he was sort of on the podium quite a lot in juniors. So
was it important for you that Remy came with you? Was that something you wanted to have?
Yeah, I think at that time it was cool to be able to race together, and sort of bounce off each other and be together on a team. Also, traveling over to Europe and being away from family so long, it's cool to have your brother there to keep you company as well.
Yeah.
So
are you protective of him as a little brother? Like, do you feel any of that sort of duty of care almost?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely try to look after him or help him out as much as I can. So I think sometimes almost too much, and I'm sort of not worrying about my own stuff enough. That was sort of the thing that came about the last few years on Giant. But no, I just obviously he's my brother and I love him, so just try and help him out as much as I can. But he's a bit older now, so he's sort of doing his own thing a bit more now, and obviously on pivot. So but cool to still both be on the scene, and
and very different to the propane team, I would imagine, that Giant move.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Giant is pretty a pretty professional team, but sort of suits me pretty well. I think maybe not so much for my brother, like maybe a bit too much for him was, sort of some of the issues that they had there. But super grateful to be on board with Giant and obviously still currently. Making lots of improvements on the bike, especially this year. So looking forward to the rest of the season and what I can do these next few rounds as well.
Good stuff. And that 23 season kicked off with a win in a elite EDR at Medina.
Yeah.
That's a good way to start a downhill season.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sort of first proper race with Giant, obviously the Enduro boys, but that was a pretty cool achievement. We were obviously spending the off season there, so knew the tracks obviously pretty well, which I think definitely helped. But
there's a pressure with that as well, though, right?
Yeah,
if you don't do well there, then you're gonna be questioned why.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so I don't know. It was really cool to. It was my first elite EDR, not EWS anymore. It was called EDR then. But it was probably one of my career sort of highlights to this day still, like one of my bigger achievements.
Yeah, a cool one to win for sure.
Yeah.
And a good way to like know that you're up to pace, I guess, ahead of the World Cup season, the Downhill World Cup season starting. Cause
for sure.
There was quite a few downhill guys that came and raced there as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it was a funny one too, because I won that and then obviously was leading the overall, and then did Derby, but I got sick a few days before the race, which was a bit unfortunate. I think I ended up 16th or 17th, somewhere there. But if I was to have sort of held on to the overall leaders jersey, I might have. I was sort of talking to the team, and they were like, "We might sort of, move you over to race sort of like the full enduro."
Yeah.
If I was still competing for the overall, but that didn't really happen, and then jumped back into the sort of normal program of the downhill.
Yeah, and a lot of change to the World Cup that year, right? It was the first year of Warner Brothers taking over. How did you find you adjusted to that? Because the format did change quite a bit. Yeah,
it was definitely a big change. I ended up injuring myself the first race.
You broke your collarbone, right?
Yeah, collarbone, bit of a concussion. So that wasn't the best start as far as Giant and the first Downhill World Cup. So sort of think I didn't end up needing surgery, so I ended up just doing like the normal recovery route with the collarbone. I was sort of back on the bike 8 or so weeks, and then sort of up to sort of more speed about 10, 11 weeks.
Okay.
And then, I think the first World Cup I did back might have been Andorra. Maybe I did one before that, but I managed to come 8th.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, like to bounce back from that and be sort of up there. And then, I think Ludenville was next, and then ended up injuring myself again. So it was a bit of a shocker, but dislocated my shoulder the second time, and then pretty much gave my shoulder a good few weeks, sort of 3-4 weeks. Was back racing for the last few, but wasn't really competitive. Just shoulder was a little bit dodgy, and that was sort of it for that year.
Yeah, so a big off season of just trying to get everything fixed and sorted, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Shoulders take a while, eh?
It's taken time. I've actually managed to avoid surgery. Like I got seen to a specialist, and he was like, you've done some damage and probably need surgery. But then I'm like, oh, well, I've been like surfing and doing the usual stuff. And he was like, surfing, really? But I've managed to, just keep it really strong the last few years and haven't had any issues. So,
Yeah, and 24 on paper looks like a much better season for you.
Yeah, for sure. I was sort of back up where I was in 22, consistently sort of making finals for the most part, and ended up finishing 21st in the overall. So, it was a good sort of comeback. And like you said, with the sort of format changing, I didn't really get to experience a lot of it in 23 with the injuries. Like I only did a few races. So, sort of got the grip of things. Last year with the new format, and I think it, sort of I'm usually quite consistent, so I think it's suits me pretty good.
Yeah. Do you find it takes a while to settle in with a new team as well?
Yeah, it took a little bit. I think it's been a good change for me, and I like the professionalism of the team. But yeah, pretty snug with everyone now. It's good. It's a good time. We have a laugh, and got the Jewett brothers as well now on the team, which has been cool. Actually, the mid-season break that we just had coming in now to Leger, I was in Canada with them, staying at their place.
Oh, nice.
Which has been
Whereabouts
cool.
In Canada are they?
They're in Squamish. So
sweet.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Like, decided to head over there instead of going home to get some better riding in and a bit more racing as well. Did the crankworks and stuff.
You got a win, right, in the OG?
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, won the OG. I think first time they've had it back in a good few years. But then 11.99 ended up getting cancelled because of the weather. But
how is that track? What's it like to ride?
It's cool. Like, a couple like pretty big. Well, it's quite fast at the top, and then some like decent jumps at the top. There's one like step down that you land so hard. Like, they need to make a bit more angle on the angle on the landing. If you're listening to this, trail builders, for 11.99. But yeah, some sort of bigger jumps up the top, and then pretty fast most of the way down. Pretty cool features sort of midway. There's like a pretty cool sort of rock to rock, and then sort of more of like a rock garden in the midsection. And no, I was really loving it though. Like, cool track.
Is it World Cup worthy? Could we host the World Cup there?
Yeah, I think so. I think for sure. It's it was like when we did practice before they cancelled it in the wet, and it was quite a lot of roots came out. It was pretty gnarly, so I hope for some dry weather to race it. But no, definitely World Cup worthy, and I think it would be a pretty cool spot to have one for sure.
Yeah, it would be nice to have one there.
Yeah,
definitely. And in 2024 as well, you did a bit more EDR. You got a second place in Combleu to Richie Rude.
Yeah.
Also very fit mountain biker. Like, are you torn between EDR and downhill? Because arguably you've maybe had a little more success in EDR.
Yeah, for sure. I think, it's always been a funny one because I've jumped into the enduros and I've been able to do quite well, getting on the podiums. With sort of not that emphasis on actually training for it. Just sort of been doing how I usually train for downhill, and then jumping into that, Comblux especially, super last minute decided, I think the week or two before, I'm like, because I was in Morzine here, and I was like, it's just around the corner, I should go do it. And team was all good with it, and managed to get second. And I don't know, I was just having so much fun there as well. The tracks were sick. I really enjoyed that race, and it was cool to get on the box. But it was definitely it's definitely been a thing the last few years. Do I jump into more enduro, see how that goes? And I was actually, for this year, talking to the team after sort of last year coming second in Comblux. I'm like, what do you guys think of me switching fully to enduro? And that was sort of the plan until things sort of fell apart with all the teams pulling out, and enduro sort of not being in the best spot this year. So a bit of a shame, but I'd still be, I think in the future, interested to sort of make that switch and maybe focus a bit more on enduro if it bounces back. Yeah.
Has it been hard? Because it feels like this is the best season of enduro for quite a while, right? We're back to 2-day racing, which I assume would suit you.
Yeah.
We've had some wicked venues.
Yeah.
Has there been any FOMO from that? Or?
A little bit, yeah. It's it is a shame with so many teams. There's only really three or so factory teams now. So a lot of the big teams pulled out last year, and for this year. And I think, like I said, I'd definitely be keen to sort of jump back in and do them again, and maybe put more focus into that one day. But sort of wasn't couldn't make it happen with Giant pulling out, and
needs to have enough eyes on it for the teams, I guess.
Yeah, it's just sort of not super valuable as far as advertisement goes. Compared to the downer, with the broadcast, enduro not having a broadcast. So hopefully Warner Bros can get it sort of happening a bit more and get the interest of the bigger companies and teams to invest in it again. I think. Yeah.
It feels like this year's been a good step towards that, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So yeah, 2025 then, we'll talk a bit about that season. And for you guys, you kick off with some racing at home. And you took your third national champs in a row, I think, this year, which is a pretty incredible feat because there's some pretty fast Aussie riders. And obviously you're battling a rider like Troy Brosnan, who's, you know, had an incredible career so far. You've beaten him in those events and you beat him this year.
Yeah.
Harder to beat him at a World Cup. Like what?
Yeah.
What's the difference sort of from racing at home versus racing at a World Cup?
Yeah, for sure. It's been pretty cool to this year win my third national title in a row. Like pretty cool achievement to be able to do it 3 years in a row. I was definitely feeling the pressure this year. I almost felt like I almost crumbled, but somehow pulled through. I think the tracks in Australia just suit me quite well. Like we don't really have, you know, the mountains like over here, so quite a bit flatter, and you really have to sort of carry your speed and work for your speed. So that suits me quite well. I think that's why I did quite well in Fort William as well. So I've been trying to work on, you know, improving my sort of more technical, steeper riding, which I think I have. But yeah, it's definitely been a bit more of a struggle in the Europe races to sort of really perform. But I don't know, it'd be cool to bring back some flatter tracks for myself, I think, where a bit more sort of fitness and stuff comes in as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So would Poland be a good track for you? Because that's one of the more physical pedally tracks, right?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't done crazy well there the last 2 years, but I think it suits me a bit better for sure.
Unleash the horsepower.
Yeah. Yeah, give me some more sprints and pedaling and I'll be up there. Like I think last year in Fort William, I came 5th in the semi-final, and I think I was fastest in the motorway. Uh-huh. So it was, definitely when there's a bit more, pedaling and grit involved.
Yeah. Fair.
I can, rise.
Yeah, and more changes to the format again this year. I think for the good, like getting rid of protection, bringing in this Q1, Q2 setup. How have you found that? Yeah,
it's definitely been different. I think for me, obviously with the injuries in 23 and then 24, like I haven't been protected. I was protected in 22, but I think it's been cool. Like I think you know everyone just has to be on their game, and you can see like everyone's going pretty ballistic straight away into practice, and then even time training's pretty serious now to really see where you're at, because you know Q1 you've got to be top 20, so it's sort of no faffing around for that. Like you got to be on, and then if you go into Q2 once again, like you got to put it together. So I think it's made everyone raise their game, and the level right now is pretty crazy. Like, you know, a few seconds between first and 30th. So every little bit counts.
Yeah. Have you found it more psychologically challenging with that change in format? Like, is there more pressure there?
Not really. I think for me, I just try and really just focus on my process, my riding, and trying to execute the best run I can. Obviously, it is, tighter racing, and you definitely got to put it together and limit mistakes, or you're really not gonna get in the final. And then even come finals, that's another level as well. So, I think it's been pretty, the same for me. Just trying to stay consistent and ride the best I can, execute the best run I can.
Yeah. How do you view your performance so far this season?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Like I've been consistently getting in the finals for the most part. Majority of the time Q1 as well, which has been cool. So like I've been sort of around that top 15 for the Q1, close to top 10 type of thing, which has been good. I've had a few races where I probably haven't capitalized on like how I was riding, which has been a little bit disappointing, but otherwise pretty good. I just it's tough. Like you've got to go all out for the final to really, you know, if you want to crack into the top 10 or better, top 15, it's a lot. Like you've got to piece it together really well. But pretty happy with how it's gone so far. yeah, like I said, a few races, like Val de Sol, I was riding really well. Like I actually had the fastest splits in the Q1, and then got a flat near the bottom, and I wasn't sure if I was going to make it in, but I'm like, oh, I'll just keep pushing all the way, and somehow managed to come 13th in the Q1 with a flat, like a ways from the finish. Really, it's probably a good 50 seconds or more. Like I think it was just before like the fourth split.
Yeah.
And then that whole bottom bit, like just not moving really. But yeah, it was cool to have that pace, and then I was fired up for the race day, but sort of, I don't know, I sort of let it get to me a bit too much. Like knew I could do really well and didn't sleep that good that night, and sort of, just didn't really rise up to the occasion in the finals. But still I got 11th, which is my best result this year. So, striving for that again, and to be able to get to that level, and sort of, be there for the next few races would be awesome. I didn't really even feel like I was doing anything different too. Like it was like, I felt like I was riding really good. We made a bit of a bike change in practice, which is a little bit risky, but it ended up like paying off, and it felt really good. And I was like, sweet. Like, and then, the Q1 run was just smooth. And I was, pretty surprised to be like winning the splits.
That's awesome.
But so striving for that again.
What did you change on the bike?
I actually went from a 52 offset to a 48.
Okay.
And I'm still on the 48 now. So just like the wheel's a bit more under you.
Yeah. How does that like manifest when you're riding it? How does it feel?
It's like, for me, it's just more front wheel traction for the most part. I sort of went to the 52. I was on the 48 last year, but I went to the 52 this year because we've been experimenting with like angle sets, and then the wheelbase of our bike was getting a little short. So then I was like, go to 52 just to get a bit more length. But I think with the 48 just suits my style a bit more. I sort of ride off the back a bit more, so keeps the front wheel under me a bit more, bit more front wheel traction. And Val de Sol, they made it a bit more tight techie as well this year, so I think that sort of paid off with the setup that I went for.
Have you gone steeper on head angle then with the angle sets?
Yeah, steeper. Yeah. So we're sort of searching at the moment for a little bit more sort of reach and wheelbase. So I think for this race we actually have because with the angle sets we have like a +5, -5.
Yeah.
But with the angle sets we haven't been able to do that. Only like the stock cups can do that because it's sort of, there's not enough
room in the frame.
Room in the frame. So we've managed to machine that up, and I think I'm going to chuck the +4 on, get a bit more length.
Okay, cool.
For this one.
So you get your steeper head angle and more wheelbase length, and maintain your reach or grow your reach.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to go for that, and hopefully it's the ticket.
Have you had a chance to ride that yet? Or
I haven't actually. No, we just got it for this race. So keen to see how it goes, but I think it should be more what we're looking for.
Okay. Are you quite a puzzler? Are you the sort of person that likes to keep looking for gains in the bike?
Yeah, I do puzzle quite a bit. Working with my mechanic Brad, love putting the telemetry on and looking at the data. But we've had the bike pretty dialed this year, like even chucking the telemetry on for the most part, like what the data says, and then making a change has felt better like the whole season. So it's been cool. In my first year on Giant, like 23, like I remember we had the data on and I make some changes, and I wasn't like, I don't know, I didn't really gel with it that much, but seems like we're in a better direction now. I think also we've just learnt how it all works a bit better, myself and Brad.
Yeah.
And then obviously you want to base mostly off feel, but a lot of the time I'm able to sort of feel something now, and then we look at the data and it sort of backs what I'm feeling. Okay. So that's been a big help.
Yeah. What about time? Do you look at time much in that kind of stuff?
With the data system?
Yeah.
Not so much. Mostly just how the fork and shock's moving, like the speed of the compression circuits and rebound circuits.
Yeah.
Just looking at those numbers, and Brad sort of knows what I like for the most part. So mostly just looking at that. Yeah.
Okay. And do you change the bike much from track to track, or are you trying to find like a good setting that works plus minus a click here and there, like everywhere?
Yeah, pretty much. Keep it the same for the most part. I've actually in the break been experimenting with air shock. We've sort of been chasing a bit more ramp up in the rear.
Yeah.
With how our suspension works. So possibly might try that this week. Leger's a bit flatter, and then I think it might be nice just to hold me up at the end stroke a bit more. Like we're finding we're running like high speed compression pretty much fully closed on the coil.
Yeah.
With how our suspension sort of works, and we're running a super hard tune shock, like I think hardest Fox can go.
Okay.
So I've been experimenting with that, and I think it's funny because the air shock, it sort of feels harsher like a lot of the time, but I think it should be faster in a sense, like just having that support in the end.
Yeah.
And not sort of blowing through into that. So hopefully that's another ticket for this week.
Sounds like you got quite a lot to try this week.
Yeah, I think I'm in a good spot, and I've got some sort of goals to finish the season, and as far as overall goes, and currently 20th overall. So striving for a bit more, and I know I'm capable. So just looking forward to the challenge and putting it together.
How do you feel about making changes like that at a race weekend? Like some riders will really try and avoid that. Yeah. But then other riders seem quite comfortable making fairly significant changes.
Yeah. I'm sort of pretty comfortable with changes. If that's sort of the direction, like I said, the Valdesol one, I was definitely on the fence about I'm like, this could be like either really good or just like, wasting valuable time in practice. So, I think it's worth, taking the chance if you really think it's going to be better in the way forward. So, pretty open to change if it's really something that we feel like's going to work better. Yeah.
Can you learn much from the other guys on the team? Like how much is there value in sharing kind of setup and lines and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I think teammate Remy Tiron, he's, as far as lines goes, very creative with how he rides and pulls off some sort of crazy stuff. I feel like I'm sort of mostly mainline rider, so a lot of the time, like, might try what he's doing, but it's like, how do you make that work? So, sort of try and take that on, and learned a lot from him the last few years. Like, obviously, he's always there, and it's been cool having him on the team. And then with Jacob and Dane now on the team, it's been cool. Like, bringing them onto the team and telling them like what we've learned over the last few years with the bike and the improvements we've made, and getting them on all that stuff early has been good. And it's just cool to have sort of two younger teammates now as well, and we always have a good laugh and good mates now. So that's cool. I think it's been a help for me this year. Having them around and try and bounce off each other in practice. Like I've been riding with Dane quite a lot, tossing up some lines and stuff in practice. Obviously Jacob's been injured, but he's back for this one. So it's cool having them and try and help them as much as I can, as well as them helping me. And
it's a big range of experience on the team now, with Remy being around a long time, like you somewhere in between, and those guys finding their way into it. Like, for
sure. Like Dane, he's hasn't made a final this year, but he's riding like the break. He's made some like really big improvements, I feel like, and riding really well. And obviously first year elite, it's pretty crazy to come in to elites like this year, especially with the level. Like it's definitely pretty tough for him mentally, I think. Sort of not quite making the finals. I remember back in 22, you could be top 20, 7-8 seconds back. And now it's like, if you're not like, a cup, like 2, 3, 4 seconds from winning the thing, you're not top 30. So
it's insane, isn't it?
I think it's just, the direction the sport's going, and I think it's cool. Like, more Formula One really. And pushing everyone to be better in every aspect.
Yeah, it's definitely pushing everyone. What are you guys doing with like trackside support? Because that seems to be becoming a bigger and bigger part of it.
Yeah.
People on the hill.
Yeah, so at the moment, we had McKay Venza last year, which was cool, but he's moved into the XC side of things. At the moment, we've just got our manager, team manager, Peach, who goes up the hill and tries to help us with lines. But I think that's something we're looking at for next year to get another person just to help us get on the lines, the best lines as quick as we can and not waste time. I think with how everything's going, you don't want to waste too much time playing around with things. For me, I sort of try like first practice, just sort of feel it out, try some things, and then second practice sort of wind it up a bit more once I'm a bit more dialed in. So but yeah, it's definitely a big help, and some teams have, multiple people up there really scouting, which is cool. So I think that's, like I said, the direction of the sport, really searching for every little bit.
For sure. What else do you think is important in like that support network? Because obviously there's a lot else in a team. There's a lot of other roles. Like, what do you think are some of the things that you feel are really important within that, or bits that you would, if the money was there, you'd like more of?
Yeah, I think that, like what we were just talking about, would be a big help. I feel like it'd be cool to have someone on the mental side, even to really,
like on site with you.
Yeah,
or?
possibly. Yeah, it could be cool. But yeah, I think you just really got to keep the vibes high, even if things are going wrong. Really not get yourself in a hole. Like 23 and stuff with my injuries, like definitely sometimes it's something I've learned, I sort of beat myself up too much, and then you put yourself in a hole and don't sort of learn from the situation. You end up just, getting stuck. So really trying to, keep everything flowing, even if things aren't going the way you wanted. And racing's racing, isn't it? It's, especially this year, you see a big fluctuation in a lot of top guys, not making finals or not performing like they usually would. But I think it's just the level of how many good riders there are now. It's really you really got to put it together, and to be I'm pretty stoked with sort of how the season's gone as far as getting in the finals and consistently being there. So.
Have you done work with a mental coach much in the past, or?
Not really. I did a little bit of work with a guy this off season, which was a good help. I think I sort of knew what I needed to work on, so it was just sort of clarifying that and backing what I was sort of feeling and thinking. So
what sort of stuff have you felt like you need to focus on?
I think for me, just sort of trying to be more chill. Like sometimes I take things too seriously and it ends up not working, and I think just trying to really enjoy the riding, and I think I have a lot more this year. And just go with the flow of things, not beat myself up over, underperforming to my standards and that type of thing. And then also I've tried to bring in like some breath work and stuff to sort of calm myself down when I do get like worked up.
Where might you use that? Is that something you're doing at the top of a run or like down in the pits? So how does that fit into your life? So I try and do that depending, like I don't do it strictly like sort of when I'm not racing, but when the race week comes around, I try and do some like breath work in the morning or night if I feel like I'm sort of worked up from the day. And then I've sort of routinely now started doing some breath work like after I've done my warm up at the top. When I've got about 9-8 minutes before I drop, doing some breath work, and just sort of honing myself in with that. What does that breath work look like? Is it like a certain like in breath count, out exhale count kind of thing?
So I usually do a bit of box breathing, like inhale for like 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds, out, and then like hold at the bottom. Just sort of calms the nervous system.
It's amazing, isn't it, how strong that impact can be?
For sure. So I try and do that for like a good few minutes, and then just some deep breathing, a few minutes before dropping. Then I've been experimenting with like a few more, like a minute or two before dropping, like some like fast in and out, just to really like I think it's meant to just oxygenate the sort of body a bit more, and then just deep calm breaths before dropping in and going.
Yeah, it's getting serious, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Just trying to try things, and but I think it's helped me a bit. Yeah,
being open-minded to that stuff's worth it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And how do you feel about 26, right? We've got this big crop of junior riders. Like every year it seems that the juniors are getting more and more insanely fast, and then ultimately they land in your category and you've got to compete against them, and they're already setting some pretty crazy times. Yeah,
that's it. I think it's it's pretty awesome to see. Like, I think the sport's just getting more and more professional, and you've got juniors that are backed by big brands, big companies, and really showing what they can do, when they're young, like they are, and it's definitely want to try and fend them off in elite. But I guess it's just going to bring more competition and make everyone rise to that next level even more, really. So
in the past, it feels like it's been rare for a junior to like have been super dominant and then step in and continue being dominant. But I guess Jordan and Jackson have kind of shown us that there is the opportunity to make that step and get wins pretty quickly. It'd be interesting to see, won't it, like whether the next crop can emulate what those guys have done.
100%. I think it's definitely a bit of a different game once you step into elite, but I think if they can find their feet and ride like they have been doing in juniors, they should be pretty up there. So props to them for riding so fast, but I hope they slow down a little bit.
Fair play. And we're in Leger, a track that you like, or?
Yeah, I like this track. I'm trying to think what I got last year. I made the final, and then I think I was maybe in the 20s somewhere there.
Then the weather came in, right? It was a bit of a mixed bag, that one.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Crazy race last year. Everyone sort of crashing in the one section, but I laid it down. I think I had like top 15 splits, so I was like, I think I was maybe in 12th, 13th, third split. I was pretty stoked with that. And then it was funny, I crashed, got back up, and because my crash wasn't sort of half as bad as a lot of the riders, like I sort of just fell over in the bottom turn, got back up, and then crossed the next split, like just after where you got that creek gap. But I didn't actually make the creek gap. Like I rolled into the creek gap and I couldn't clip in because my pedal was jammed with mud from the crash, and I was like, I should have just hit it with like my foot out, like, or I don't know, just try to make it work. But I ended up not, and like stopping and having to run up to the B line, and like I was just sliding and lost more time there than the crash. So that was a bit unfortunate. But when I crossed that fourth split, I actually hadn't lost any positions because that many people had crashed in the
wild
in the section. So a bit of a bummer there, but let's hope for some better weather. It looks like it could be wet again, but no, I really like this track, and I think a lot of people do, and looking forward to getting out there and riding. Yeah,
good venue, good crowd. Should be a good week, eh?
Yeah.
Nice. Good stuff, man. We should start wrapping up. We've got our final 4 questions, so we'll hit those up. The first, if our listeners had £150, which is just over 300 Aussie dollars, to spend on improving their performance on a bike, what would you recommend they go spend it on?
That's a good one. I think you could 300. I mean, tires are getting pretty expensive, but you maybe could grab a front and rear Maxxis tire.
What are you running? What's your like general go-to?
I usually run DHR front and rear at the moment for the most part. A Sago up front if it's more hard packed. And then high roller if it's a bit more sort of loamy or soft. That's sort of the go-to. Remy Tiron loves to run like wet screams in like medium conditions. I'm not sure how he makes that work, but
he makes a lot of things work that probably shouldn't, doesn't he? That guy?
You could grab a set of them and experiment with that. But that might be a good investment. I mean, good tires definitely make the ride experience a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. All right, second one. If you could wind back the clock and sit down with yourself age 16, what advice would you give him?
Oh, that's a good one. I think I'd just tell myself to relax more, take your time, and yeah, the hard work will pay off, and yeah, just enjoy the moment more and not take it as serious.
Have you got better at that?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've made big steps like the last year or two. We've just sort of, enjoying the process more, and what happens is what happens. You know, it's a gnarly sport, and it's not always going to go your way. So
yeah, being relaxed is a good place to be, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
All right, third one. If you could have a coaching session from anyone, past or present, who would it be, and what would you want to learn from them?
Coaching session. Ooh. Don't actually know that many coaches, but I mean,
Well, it could just be a rider that you admire, like something from their skill set.
Yeah. I'd probably say, I mean, I'll give Alan a shout out again. He was an awesome coach. I think you could sit down with him and learn some valuable things about just training in general, and good tips there to perform better. So I'd probably say, yeah. Alan.
Nice. All right, last one. What's something you do every day that you feel benefits you?
Every day. The one thing that just popped into my mind, I take Superdust electrolytes and greens every morning.
Okay. Superdust, is that the brand?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, a little sponsor of mine, who've been supporting me the last few years and have been a good help. James, who works with them, is like a nutritionist as well, and he does my gym stuff too.
Okay.
It's like a gym coach too. So I take that every morning. The greens sort of, for cognitive side of things, and then just hydrate with some electrolytes and a bit of water. And
have you felt benefit?
Yeah, I think so. Just sets me up for the day, and gets me ready, hydrated, and for whatever I've got going on.
Nice one. Well, it's been a pleasure hearing your story so far, and no doubt there's more of it to come. If people want to follow you, where should they be looking? Yeah,
for sure. Mostly on Instagram, Luke_MS1. It's probably where I'm most active. Facebook, but it's mostly just what I have on Instagram reshared. Luke Meier-Smith. On YouTube as well, try and do a little bit there. Luke Meier-Smith as well.
Okay.
A few povs. Got into some vlogs, but I haven't really committed fully to making it a full thing. But sort of those platforms.
Nice one. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll stick links in the show notes so people can find that.
You.
But thanks for taking time out of a race week. Hope it all goes well. And we look forward to seeing how you get on.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate it.